everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad that you're here with me. And whether you're live with us now or watching the replay later, I just want to say I'm so glad you're part of the community. So I'm Wendy Lee, and you can find me at creativelyyours.com. I am an independent demonstrator in the US. Um, I've been a demonstrator for quite some time. I don't know. You guys probably already know that about me, right? Maybe not if it's your first time here. Today is all about simple feel-good card making, right? We're not going to do anything too crazy complicated. We're not going to do anything very overwhelming. We're just going to create something cute and meaningful, right? So we are going to use the Sweet Bugs bundle. Let me grab that and show you. So it's this one here. So there's a stamp set and dies. Um, and we're going to make three adorable projects together. But of course, grab what your favorite supplies are in your crafty stash to create with today, right? It doesn't have to be this. And I've got some alternatives that I've created as well so that you can see those and hopefully that will inspire you beyond the Sweet Bugs bundle. Okay. So these projects that we're going to make today are actually the projects I designed for my Diamonds team make and takes this month. So one of the things I love most about this is I don't have to figure out what I'm going to make every time I sit down. I can reuse these layouts over and over and over again. And I'm hoping that that's what you take away from today, right? Not just the cards, but the ideas that you can come back to and use them again and again. All right. So perfect. Let's go ahead and switch the camera over and get started with our crafty fun. Let's hope my camera behaves today. All right, doesn't look too bad. So I think we're going to be all right. Okay. Oh, good. Yay, you guys found me. Yay, 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 yay. Go Navy. Yes. Yes. Yeah, my son is he's still trekking along in the Navy. Okay. So let me turn on some lights. Get a little more sound going so you guys can hopefully hear me as I move around a little bit better. Okay, so the Sweet Bugs bundle, for me, this is one of those bundles that you're going to reach for when you want something quick and guaranteed to work, right? You can use the elements by themselves. You can cut some of the images with the dies cut right out of the pattern paper. Let me grab the pattern paper. We're not actually using the coordinating paper today. I am changing that up. So I'm switching it to the Lovely Blossoms paper just to show that you can mix and match. But this cute as a bug paper, and you can tell I've been through multiple packs. I've got parts and pieces. You can die cut images right out of the designer paper, or you can fussy cut them, right? So you can use there's multiple sides. This paper's fun because there's some of these elements here where you can cut and have your focal point background already ready for you if you wanted to. But it's a great set of paper, but I wanted to do something different today. So I am switching it up. But again, know that if you love this, and maybe you don't love this bundle, or maybe you do, but if you don't love this bundle, you could always substitute in images that you cut right out of the paper, I think is what I'm trying to say. Isn't that crazy? Um, my mind goes all over the place. Let's see. Am I losing you guys, or are we all still here? Okay, good. I still see everybody. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, so if you've got questions as we go along, let me know. Let me give you a quick peek of the projects that we are creating today. So these are the projects we're going to create. Okay, so all cute stuff. I'm going to start with this one here. Now, I will tell you measurements as we go along. If you do want the written PDF tutorial, I'll talk about that more in a little bit, okay? So let's see. Let's go ahead and grab my supplies for this one. All right, so we're going to start off with a Secret C card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to fold this in half and give that a good crease. Okay. And then I've got a piece of Secret C that is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And that's what we're going to layer our designer paper strips on. So I've got 3 pieces of pattern paper that's 4 1/2 by 1 inch. And again, I pulled this from the Lovely Blossoms Designer Series paper pack. You could use the Cute as a Bug paper if you want to, but I love that, I don't have to. I can mix and match this with other things. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. Oh, it's going to decide not to run. So what do we do when that happens? We grab our handy dandy silicone craft sheet, run it. We don't waste any adhesive, and it's working again. Love that. Love that. All right, we're going to put this down here. And then I'm going to do the other end. And then we'll let the middle be what the middle be as far as spacing. So I am placing these outer strips. I'm trying to do even on these 3 sides, even on these 3 sides. And then when I put my center one in, I'm going to just center it best that I can. And my spacing is whatever my spacing is, right? So I can let that middle panel kind of happen wherever it needs to happen. Now, I like dimension on my cards. If you guys know me, if you've been following me for a while, you probably already know this. So guess what? I'm going to pop this layer up. You do not have to pop the layer up if you do not want to pop the layer up. That is entirely up to you. Okay. So I'll put this in here. Let's go excessive. Let's add a couple extras. We can. We can do it. All right. I keep moving my trash can around. So yes, I think it was already mentioned that right now in the US, I don't know about everywhere else, but in the US, the dies are unavailable to go along with this stamp set, the Cute as a Bug. So just be aware of that. They will be back in stock in the coming weeks. So they'll be back soon. All right, and then I've got a circle that I've die cut with my favorite stylish shapes dies. And what's so funny is that I have 2 sets of these and I can't find where they are. I have buried them in my room. So one of my goals today is to find it, right? To clean up my room. My room is such a disaster. So I want to find where it is, right? I need to find that. It's important. All right, let's go and stamp our sentiment on our circle here. So I'm using Secret C ink, one of my favorite colors. And I'm going to stamp the Hello Friend from the stamp set right on there. Okay. Such a fast, easy card. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and pop this up as well. I like it popped up. I just do. Makes me happy. All right. And I'm just going to center this. You could offset it if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you on what you want to do with that. Now, I've got about 14 inches of the red and white baker's twine. And I am going to tie a little bow here. So I'm going to get my 2 loops. I'm going to crisscross. One's going to go in, back out through that hole, and I'm going to tighten this. Ooh, my arthritis is getting me today. All right, so I'm going to hold that knot and I'm going to pull this. Now you notice twine twists. That's the nature of twine. It's going to do it. You can mess with it. You can futz with it. It's entirely up to you. But I just have decided to let it go. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not going to stress me out anymore. It is what it is. Now I'm going to grab a glue dot, or I call these boogers. So I'm going to roll that up with my take your pick. And I'm going to put this knot right into that adhesive. And then I'm going to tuck this right under the edge of my circle here. And I'm going to let that hang down. Now, if that's too much twine for you, cut some off, right? If we've got it too long, just clip a little off. It's all good. And if you want to tuck it under there a little further, you can. If you want to force it to not twist, or at least so that you can't see it's twisting, you can mess with that and try to get that all worked out if you want to. That's entirely up to you. Now the images that I die cut for the little strawberries. So this die here is a little trio die, and it's going to cut these little berries. Well, depending on what color you cut them in, they can be berries or they could be flower centers. And then I took this little one as well, and I'm making that a berry. So I use both sizes in this little die here. And then this little one here that's kind of a, I think it's a raspberry or a blackberry, but you can use it for however you want to. Then I took this little trio die here and I cut that out of old olive cardstock. So I've got a couple of those pieces as well. So we're going to make some cute little strawberries with this. So let's go ahead and put a little liquid glue on those little tops. I'm just going to put a little on there. Hopefully my mind gets a little more focused. I'm having trouble with it today. I got too many things I want to be doing or need to be doing, and I want to go outside and just hang out outside with the nice weather. Do you guys ever have days like that? I don't forget, or don't, I don't regret stamping at all. I've been doing quite a bit of stamping this morning as well. So both go well. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to grab my handy dandy tweezers. I'm going to use these to help me place this. So I'm going to put one of my strawberries right there. And I don't know if you noticed, but I had a little divot where I didn't cut out my circle very well, and it had a flat edge on it. So I am placing this strawberry so it kind of fills in or covers up my mistake. And then we'll build this strawberry. So I'm going to just lay that right on top. So this is a little tedious. I said we weren't going to do anything too hard and tedious, but this is maybe a little tedious to build these because they're little pieces. So you could always use something else if this is too tedious for you. Too small of pieces. And I'm going to show you some alternates. Oh, let's angle that differently. Yeah, let's do that. I like that better. Cute. I think it's cute. Simple. Packs a good wow. Yeah. Your embellishments were lost for weeks. Yeah. Shall I have had times where I know I had something, like I just had it. And I will look, whoops, I will look and I cannot find it to save my life. I don't know. But my room, I will tell you, my craft room is a hot mess right now and desperately needs to be cleaned. So this is one of the things on my list to do. All right. Oh, should have told you, these are the natural matte dots that I've chosen to put in with this. So we do have embellishments that are in this suite. They are the Ladybug. I think they're called Ladybug. I don't know the right name, but they're out of stock right now as well. They're not going to be back in, at least in the US, according to current information by the end of April. But know that if you've got some of these items on your I want them list, that you will be able to set up a notification in the online store. And when it pops back in stock, Stampin' Up! Will send you an email. So you'll be one of the first to know. So it's awesome. All right. So now for the inside, I've taken the same size as I have on the front here. So this is 4 3/4 by 3.5 basic white. And then I've just got a little leftover piece of the pattern paper that is 1 inch by 3 1/4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. I like to use scrap strips of pattern paper. So the width really doesn't matter. I just had 1 inch. I used 1 inch out here. And so I just kept with that because it was easy, right? But you can do the width, any width that you want to. And I've got quite a few alternate samples to show you guys of this one because it is so fast and easy to do. All right, let's grab those tweezers again. Got a nice big strawberry. We're going to lay that right there. And I've chosen not to put a sentiment on the inside, but you could if you wanted to. Oh, liquid glue and I do not get along. Glue ooze. And it's sticking to my finger. Yikes. Who else does that drive crazy? It definitely drives me crazy. All right. All right. We will get this on the inside. We'll stamp and seal. And I'm just going to center that So it brings that design to the inside. Isn't that super sweet? I think it's adorable, just adorable. And of course, you could use little flowers or little bugs. Do you guys want to see some alternates of this? I've got some cute samples. All right, so I decided to make a few different ones, hoping that this would inspire you guys. So I brought in the Be My Valentine stamp set and the mixed up patterns designer paper. And so I did a Daffodil Delight background, added my strips of pattern paper. This little piece here was a leftover kind of trash, right? From the Easter basket dies. So when you cut out the Easter basket, it leaves this centered piece here. So I stamped on it, and then I don't know if you can see it very well. I've got score lines on here. So I flipped it to the back and scored it to make it look kind of like a hive. And then I've got my super sweet bee with some vellum punched wings that I added a little bit of Wing Stella. I don't know if you can see the shimmer or not. And then for the inside, I kept it simple as well. Another strip of paper, stamped that little hive image to kind of bring that to the inside. So cute. Do you like it? Oh, good. Like that one. So I've got a few more. So next, I pulled in my Help Me Grow bundle and I created this one here. I also used the Mixed Up Patterns designer series paper. So this is a balmy blue background with my Mixed Up Patterns designer paper. I die cut this lovely leafy image here right out of old olive cardstock. I used the hexagon punch and stamped with Secret Seat and used some flirty flamingo to die cut those flowers. And then there's some hues of blues. Used little white flowers from that and then brought the design to the inside as well. When I die cut my leaf, I actually made a mistake and I had performed surgery unknowingly. And so I had two pieces. So I thought, well, I'll take the second piece and pull that to the inside. So cute. Do you like that one? I love it. So I'm just showing you that you can do a wide variety of things with this. So I've got one more I want to show you. So this one, I took the Easter basket stamp set and made a little Easter card. Now I changed up, instead of doing 3 wide strips, I cut these strips 3/4 of an inch and I did a little woven background kind of to look like a basket. And I've got my sentiment and a couple of Easter eggs that I cut out of the designer paper. And then I brought the design to the inside. Now, this label here, you're like, where's that? That's a sneak peek. So we have some new dies coming in May called Scallop Blooms, and that's this image right here. So cute, mixing and matching current with things coming our way. Oh, I love to decorate the inside of the card. To me, that makes it extra special. All right, are you guys ready for card 2? Did you like the first one? Yes? Good, good, good. I'm so glad. So glad. All right, our next project is this one right here. I think this is adorable as well. Granted, I like them all, but that's just me. It's just my opinion. All right, let me grab my supplies for this one. So let's start by doing our stamping of our little ants here and coloring. So I am going to slide that over to the side. So I've got a couple strips of basic weight cardstock. You can do, I've got in the tutorial that it's 5.5 by 2. I've just grabbed some scraps. So I'm going to use these for my stamping and coloring today. So you use what makes you happy. Okay, I'm bringing in my Memento black ink. Now you guys know that this is going to retire from Stampin' Up's perspective. So if you need re-inkers, definitely get them before they are gone. Granted, I believe other companies sell it, but if you want to get it from Stampin' Up before it's gone, definitely grab that sooner rather than later. All right, so now I want to color these. So I've got some Stampin' Blends markers. So I am bringing in dark creme cake, dark cloud cover, dark real red, and dark cherry cobbler. Okay, so it's just my personal preference. You color these however you want to color these, but I'm going to color this little horn here in crumb cake. And I'm doing two sets of these, and I'll show you why later. Okay. And then let's do our cloud cover. I've already got a huge mess as we're creating here, throwing things in a pile. So I'll have a big mess to clean up after. Okay. Cute, 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 cute. All right, now I'm going to take the dark cherry cobbler and let's color the heads. I wanted these to kind of look like fire ants. I don't know why. I'm going to color all my heads in the dark cherry cobbler. Let's skip a section and then we'll do the next one in cherry cobbler, skip a section, next one in cherry cobbler. And then I'm going to repeat that on the other two guys. Not really staying in my lines very good, but that's okay. All right. And then we're going to color the parts that we didn't color in real red. Just to give it that two-tone red appearance. What color would you guys color your ants? Do you like the red or would you do something different? And I'm not really worrying about doing any shading. These are little images. I mean, you could spend more time on it and shade it if you want. Now on this other set, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do all the heads in red. So we're going to have flipped versions, if that makes any sense. All right, and then I'm going to go back to cherry cobbler. Donna, you're good. I'm glad you're here with us. It's being recorded, so you can always go back and watch anything that you missed. We're on our second project right now. All right, so now I'm filling in with cherry cobbler. All right, perfect. Now we can die cut these with the coordinating die. And I've already done that. So I'm just going to bring those die cut pieces in and set these aside. Oh, your choice wouldn't be red. Firefight. Yes, fire ants can cause some pain for sure. For sure. But that I don't know. For some reason, red is what called out to me for them. So I've got them here. All right. Now I want to build my layers. So I've got a piece of, let me make sure I say the right thing, 4¼ by 3" basic white, and I've added texture to it with the beautiful pattern embossing folder. I just think it's a subtle, nice little, I love the stitching look on this. So I'm going to grab that. And then I'm going to layer it on a piece of basic white that is 4½ by 3¼ Now, I did some paper saving and I cut my label that I'm going to use out of the center of it because you're not going to see it once I cover this up. And so it saved a little bit of paper here. So this label was cut with the beautifully celebrated dies. So that die right there. Let's see, it's did I give myself a size? No, that would have made sense. It's this one. I think it's the third smallest is going to be my guess. It's in the tutorial, so you'll have the exact measurement, or you can adjust it. It doesn't matter, right? All right, so I'm going to adhere these two pieces together with my Stampin' Seal. Okay, and then let's bring in our card base. We've got a cloud cover card base. So this is 5½ by 8½, and we're going to fold this in half. So what are you guys saying about red ants? They are the food for horny toads. Okay. All right. Did not know that. Didn't know that at all. All right. Now I've got two little cheater straps of designer series paper. So these are 1" by 2½ inch. Now you could have done a full strip of pattern paper and not done little cheater strips, but I love to do this because this is a great way to get so much more out of your pattern papers, and you can use those scraps, right? So it's a nice way to use our supplies without wasting them. So I'm going to use my grid to kind of help me here, and I'm somewhat centering. Let's do that. I think that's centered more or less. Okay. Did it again. Let's grab my silicone craft sheet. Now it's running again. I haven't had trouble with that in a long time, so I don't know what's going on today. Just having a day, I guess. All right, so I'm placing that on my grid so I know where to place it up here to match up. So again, I'm going for that look that it looks like it's one piece. Wild wheat and calypso coral would be an interesting color combination. Oh, it definitely would. Try that one. Let me know how it goes. All right, so I'm going to take these layers and I'm going to pop this up. And I know I've probably pulled out 4 or 5 packages of dimensionals, and I don't know where I keep putting them. So let's open up a new sheet. Yes, I take it right out of the middle. It makes me happy. Does that drive you crazy? I love it. Right out of the center. Brand new pack. I love a brand new pack. All right. And then we'll slide this right down on here. Cute. And you can put any focal point on there, which is what I love. All right, let's grab our sentiment and our Memento Black ink pad. And I am going to stamp Spread Joy right on my label. And I'm going to center it best that I can. And I'm stamping towards the bottom because I want to leave room for the ants above it. Okay, now I'm going to pop this up too. I know, if that drives you nuts, do some layers flat. It's okay. I love it popped up. So that's what I'm doing. Hey, Barbara, good to see you. It's been a long time, my friend. All right, so got that there. Now we've got our lovely little ants, and I want a set of 3 of them. And the order that they stamp is this, but I didn't want them in that order. So I'm flipping them. So you put them in whatever order you want, and then you decide, do you want to mix and match the images here? So I am going to take this guy and move in this guy. So I have one with the darker face. So it's light, dark, light. On my original, I have dark, light, dark. You do what makes you happy. That's what's important. But I wanted to mix that up a little bit. Let's see. I want some mini dimensionals, I think. Oh, I just found the other ones. The other regular dimensionals that I've buried already. So the tutorial doesn't get posted on this one. This is part of my order special. So let's talk about that. So I do have a special workshop for you, order special for you guys as a thank you. So if you place an order with me in my online store by Monday, the end of the day Monday, then you're gonna get, if your order is $35 or greater, you're gonna get the PDF tutorial for these projects. If your order goes to $50 or greater, you're gonna also get the cut kits, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I have little packets that I pre-cut, and these go out to you as a thank you. Now, if you're in, and that's for the people in the US, I'm not allowed to send product to my international friends, but I have a special for you as well. But I did want to tell you, if your order reaches $75, I also have a product of the month special tutorial that I will send you as well. I'm just going to put these cute little guys out here. Need some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. So for my international folks, the special is, instead of ordering in my online store, it is ordering in my tutorial store. So $35 order gets you the PDF for today's class. The $50 order also gets the All-Star Tutorial Bundle And then the $75 or greater will get the product of the month tutorial as well. So they build as you go. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so let's take this, and I have some die cut flowers, I think, although I'm not seeing them in my stuff here. You know what I did? I put them with the last project kit, I betcha. Betcha, betcha, betcha that I put all the little die cuts there. Let's see. I surely did. Let's see if I can grab these little flowers. So in the die set, there are lots of great little small elements that you can use to build scenes. Let me grab the dies out again. So these flowers here are the ones I'm talking about. So I cut one, on the original, I cut two bigs and a little. This one, it looks like I cut two littles and a big. So that's fine. That doesn't hurt anything at all. So I'm just going to change it up a little bit, right? So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use glue dots to put these down. You can use liquid glue as well. I think I'm going to use glue dots. And I'm going to put this one down here. So I'm kind of using these sort of as embellishments, although I'm going to add embellishments in as well. And then we'll add a couple of small ones. How about we tuck one kind of peeking out here? And then let's see, let's use a mini dimensional and see if we can get this other one popped up. Why not? And we can put that right on the edge of that label there. Cute. I think I'm going to move this one. If I can, I might just tear it. Yeah, I like that better. Cute, 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 cute. All right, let's take some of our natural matte dots and I will add them to the centers of these. Whoa, for whatever reason, I am shooting these across instead of getting them off the cello here. Cute, 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 cute. I love it. I hope you guys are loving it as well. Okay, we want to bring our design to the inside. So what did I do on this one? I've got a white layer and we're going to do a little stamping, and this is where we need an extra little ant. So you could take any one of these images and put it in there, whatever one makes your heart happy. So where is my white layer? Did I pull it for the other? Oh, no, it's right behind me. All right. So this is 5¼ by 4. And I want to stamp the little, I'm calling it the trail. So it's the little dash line stamp. And I'm going to use crumb cake ink. And these are spaced out well enough that I can just ink up the top line and stamp that right here in the corner. How cute is that little detail there? So the All-Star tutorial bundle also features the Cute as a Bug suite. So when your order hits $50, you get that as well. So you'll have 12 additional fantastic ideas to use with these products. How cute is that? Putting a little ant on the inside. And then I've got some extra friends for another project. And then we will adhere this one down in place. Now, I didn't make any alternates of this one. I didn't have time to. But what kind of products would you use for this one? So many things I think you can do with it, right? Yeah, yeah. Let me see if there's any questions. Okay, good, good, good. Nice. You guys are liking this one. I'm glad you do. Okay, let's do our last one. I think these projects are simple enough that you could do batching, right? Like you could make stacks of these, especially that first one that I showed with those alternates. Now this one, we're stepping it up a little bit. I've got a little technique going on in here, and I'll show you that in a bit. So my question for you that I want to ask you is, do you want the background stamped with the mushrooms, or would you prefer it stamped with the flowers? I did not intend to have it different on the inside and outside, but that's what happened on my original sample. But today I would like to stamp the inside and outside the same, but which do you prefer, the mushrooms or the flowers? So let me know. And while I'm pulling out the supplies, and we'll see what you think about it. Let you guys vote a little bit here. Okay. Mushrooms is what I'm seeing come through. Nice, nice. All right, we'll go through the parts here while you guys are giving me those comments. So I've got an arch that I've die cut with the Everyday Arches dies. Then I've got my Mossy Meadow layer that I've cut the center out. I used that Help Me Grow die to get that. And we'll talk about these layers in a minute. And then I've got some elements that I cut out of crumb cake cardstock. Petunia Pop, sadly that's going away. And Blackberry Bliss and Bubble Bath. And I've got more Bubble Bath elements here. Let me grab those. And we've got the snail. Oh, I lost the dragonfly. Where did it go? It was in my hand. Oh, no, it wasn't. I thought I picked it up. I didn't pick it up. Dragonflies. We've got some choices there as well. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Flowers, mushrooms, both mushrooms. I've seen mushrooms more than I've seen anything else. So, all right, perfect. Let's go ahead and get working on this one. So this is 4¼ by 11. We're going to fold this in half. All right, and then I'm going to stamp the mushrooms based on what I saw from the comments. Let me get a scrap. I'm getting a scrap piece of paper out. I don't have to do a scrap piece of paper, but I'm going to. And let's find our old olive ink pad and our mushrooms. And I just wanted to add a little extra detail to the background. I think it's a fun way to add a little excitement to your layer without having to pull in designer paper. So I'm just trying to make a pattern that doesn't look like it's just stamped. I want it to look like it's cut out of pattern paper, if that makes any sense. I'll go a couple in there, and I don't know if I need one there, but I'm gonna put one there just in case we need to, so we don't see that, okay? Now, on the inside, I wanna do the same thing. Now, I'm gonna flip this backwards so that it's just not sitting in my ink. That is the only reason. And we'll stamp these across the bottom as well. Doesn't have to be exactly the same. Entirely up to you on what you want to do here. And I don't really need to do the middle because I'm going to cover that, so I'm not too worried about that part of it. Cute. All right, now let me move this out of the way. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to add a little splatter. So I'm going to get out, I have an old paper pumpkin box that I have reserved just for splattering. So let me bring that in. Yep, it's messy. It is definitely messy. Make sure I'm in camera here. And I'm going to do both the inside and the outside. So I'm just going to lay this right in my box. Okay. Well, I want to make sure you guys can see it. All right. Now I'm going to grab my Wing of Stella and my old olive ink pad. And I have put a little bit of re-inker into the lid here. And it's dry right now, but I'm going to go ahead and squeeze a little Stella and get that moist again. And yes, I know I'm putting Stella in the lid here, but I'm also picking up that lovely sparkle. Now you could drop some water in here if you need to get a little more moist and not use as much Stella. Now I want to splatter, so I'm taking my bone folder and I'm going to tap against it with my water paint, or with my Stella, sorry. Oh, it's going up there. Probably because of the angle I'm at. Let's see if I can get it to go down here. It might be too dry. Let's see. I have some Stampin' Mist. We'll just put a spritz in there. Isn't that crazy? Use what you got, right? So I put a little more moisture in there with some Stampin' Mist. This will probably work better. I needed a little more fluidity. Fluidity? There we go. That's the word. A little bit more. So you can do as little or as much splatter as you want. So that's my card inside. Let's do my card front. Here, I'll go this direction. Maybe you see that a little bit better. Let's pick up a little bit more ink. So this way I'm going to get the shimmer, but I'm also going to get the color. So it's not going to just be shimmery. Oh yeah, I'm doing much better on this. Okay. Now, my Stella, I can either rinse it under the sink to clean it, or I can run it across some cardstock to clean it and to get the green ink out. Because you don't want it to stay green, right? Granted, if you've got another project that you want to color the green, you totally could do that, right? Like if you wanted to add shimmer to this lovely leaf here, you could take your Stella that's got the green in it and add some right onto the leaves here and help clean your Stella that way until it runs clear. I'm just going to add a little here. Why not? This still needs to be clean though. Still green, you can see that, right? All right, perfect. So that's just a fun way to add a little extra. It gives you the splatter, but it also gives you a little bit of shimmer in the splatter. You can see it on the one that's dry really well, I think. All right, let's go ahead and put these layers together. So this layer here is 3 by 4 1/4. This is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And I'm going to layer those together. And it's doing it again. I don't know why. Silicone craft sheet. Saves me every time. Perfect. Love that. Let's go ahead and pop this on the card front. Now, for my team members that might be watching, you guys already have this tutorial. This was, like I said, this was our Diamonds team make and takes for this month. So you can grab it right in our team Facebook group. And I'm going to lay this right here, and I'm centering this left to right, top to bottom. Of course, you can shift that if you prefer to. Looks like when I was splattering, I got some splatter over here. So I've just embellished that card a little bit more, which is fine. All right, so for my sentiment, I wanted it to say hello, and this stamp set has a hello friend. So that's not what I wanted. So let me go ahead and clean my stamp. I like to use my Scrub and Mist to do this. So I've spritzed one side, and I'm just going to run this along that. You don't have to put hard pressure. You just want to get it clean, and I can dry it on the other side. Now, my scrub might not be perfectly clean, and so I may have some residue. So let's make sure we stamp off any residue, right? I want that to run clear. Move those out of the way. All right, so now that that's clear, I just want the hello. So if you don't have a stamp set that has just hello that you want to grab and pull in, and you want to stay with this one stamp set, we can mask this sentiment. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some painter's tape. Actually, I think I'm going to tear that. Taking some painter's tape, and I am masking off part of the sentiment that I don't want. So I don't want the friend. I just want to say hello. So we're just going to tape that off. Okay. There we go. And then I want to ink this up in, let's use Secret C. Okay, I'm going to grab Secret C. Make sure that tape is covering all the parts I don't want. Okay, I'm going to ink up the hello. I'm pretty happy with that. Remove the tape. Super important to remove the tape, right? That's not going to work very well if we don't remove the tape. And now I can come in here and stamp the word hello. Cute. Do you guys do masking often? Do you love it? Have you tried it before? Is this new for you? Let me know. Or do you do it differently? There's so many different ways you can mask. I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and adhere this one to the card front. I'm going to use dimensionals for this as well. So for those of you that are not Stampin' Up! Lingo um, knowledge, you don't have our lingo knowledge, because we call things by our product names. So these are double-sided foam dots or pop dots. I've heard others say. Same difference. I really like our quality of ours and the height of ours, but you can use whatever makes you happy from whatever company. Now, I shouldn't have pressed that down because I did want to tuck this under. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of liquid glue to these leaves. I forgot it actually until I looked up and I was like, oh no. So I'm going to put a little liquid glue. I'm going to lift this corner, which I should be able to do because it's not been down for very long. Okay, lifting my corner. I'm going to slide this in. Now my dimensional is kind of in the way, but I'm not going to let that stress me out. Let's see, how do I want this to be? Do I want this to be on the top? Do I want this to be on the bottom? I want it this way. I think I want it like that. That's where we're going, right there. So tucked it right down in there. Cute. I love it. A little peeking out. And let's do our mushrooms next. So I'm going to put the stems down flat. You can see I got debris from my die cutting machine, my plates. I use my plates all the time. So this is new masking for you. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so many ways to do masking. I find the painter's tape works really easy. That's why I like it. All right, so I'm going to put a large mushroom down. And then let's put the small mushroom down. And if I didn't say so, these were cut out of crumb cake cardstock. Cute, 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 cute. Now I want to pop up the mushroom tops. So I've got Blackberry Bliss and Petunia Pop. So Petunia Pop is one of the in colors that will be retiring this year. It makes me sad. It's one of my favorites. Maybe they'll bring it back next year. Who knows? Who knows? But it's on the chopping block for this year. So if it's a color that you love, stock up on the cardstock and make sure your ink pad has the refill. I'm just going to add these tops right on to the tops of our mushrooms and then add a nice fun color, pop a color to it. I think it's so cute. All right, now I've got the snail and the dragonfly and the butterfly. I'm going to use the butterfly on the outside like I did on the original. And I'm going to fold it in half a little bit there, give it a little height. Now I know when I put this in the mail, it's going to flatten it out, but it makes me feel good to make it and have it look real pretty. So I've taken a glue dot and I've rolled it up and I'm just going to put it on the center here. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this right down. I'm going to push it down in that center so that it's stuck really good to the card base. And then that may let that sit like that. It'll sit like that for me. But once it's in the envelope, probably not so much when they take it out, unless somebody knew to pop that up. But I think it's cute right now. All right, let's take a couple of our matte dots, sprinkle a few of those on here, and we're going to save that for the inside. Let's grab a large one so I can get it. I am just struggling today. All right, and then a smaller one. Well, there we go. And then we'll grab one more. Well, we'll take a large one. Why not? And just kind of put that over there. You could take a small one. The size doesn't matter really. All right, so let's finish our design on the inside. So we've done our stamping and splattering. I have another piece of designer paper. And again, the width doesn't matter. So this is actually wider than what I've got in the instructions. I had in there a 4¼ by 1. This is 4¼ by 1½. So again, I'm taking leftover scraps and I like the tone on tone appearance here. So really the width doesn't matter, just I'm just trying to bring that design to the inside. So I'm going to put that band across there. And then hopefully I have a white piece of cardstock. Uh-oh, what did I do with it? What did I do with it? I might have forgot to cut it. I'm not seeing it. All right, well, it is what it is. So I've got a piece of white that I would put in there that is 3 by 4 1/4, and then a little dragonfly that I would add in as well. So I will have to cut that and do that later. I don't think I have a designer paper or any paper handy that I could just grab and make that up. So pretend I did it and pretend I glued a cute little dragonfly in there to go along with it to finish up this one. So I do have an alternate to show you on this one as well. No, I don't sell these tutorials. These are for my team and for the order special. So that's the only way to get them. All right, so for this one, I decided to show a sneak peek. So this is my alternate, and it's using the Garden Gatherings. So this is a stamp set that will be coming out in May, a stamp and die bundle, and these are our new in colors. So I've done the hydrangea hue in the background, and then the shimmer paper, the designer paper. Oh, thought I wrote it down. Did I not? I did not write it down. Let's see if I can remember. It is Bloom Boutique. Yes. And then I kept the same arch in there, but then I added a strip of cardstock for my sentiment because it was longer than I wanted, than what played out nice for me. So this is the new blush. I don't know my color names yet. The blush and then the cantaloupe and the green, the new green, which is I should have brought it over with me. I don't have it with me in front of me. So we've got new green. And then these are adorable, are they not? They're little butterflies. And that's in the golden color. Cute. We've got our little vases. And then we brought the design to the inside as well with the stamping, the designer paper strip, and a little die cut flower. Cute. So fun stuff coming our way, I think. I think there's good fun stuff coming our way. So all good stuff. Let's see, what else do I want to make sure I told you guys? Yeah, so I hope that you guys can see the value in repurposing your layouts here, right? Being able to use these in other ways beyond just this bundle. I didn't do any extras of that one, but I did of this last one. This one and this one and this one and this one here. So we've got a wide variety that you can use, and you use what's in your crafty stash to recreate, right? I appreciate you guys spending this time with me. And whether you place an order or not, I hope that this gave you ideas you can come back to and use again. The replay will be available and the workshop special runs through Monday. And if you want to use the supplies, if you've been wanting to use your supplies more, hopefully this makes you feel a little more confident when you sit down to craft, right? And these cards are a great place to start. So I'm always here if you need me. So yes, if you're outside the US, if you shop in my tutorial store, the link is in the order special that I've already posted yesterday, and I'll repost it here in a little bit. So you can get to my tutorial store. If you shop my tutorial store and place a $35 order, you're going to get the PDF for the projects. If your order goes to 50, I will add in the All-Star Video Class Tutorial Bundle, which is the Cute as a Bug Suite. And if your order goes to $75, I will add in the Product of the Month tutorial. So good stuff, right? All right, perfect. I appreciate you guys. I'm here. I can't wait to see. Definitely create and share your versions, right? I can't wait to see what you guys do with these projects, and how you make them your own. All right. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you all soon. If you've got any questions, let me know. All right. Bye for now.